Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, very well, thanks. Very well. Thanks for jumping on.
No, no, sorry.
Um, cool. Well, we'll crack on straight away. I think this is obviously what are we Wednesday midday. This will go on tomorrow evening, I believe, for people to tune into. So it follows, as we mentioned, the series of different Q&As that we've done, and we've had a bit of a disability cricket theme last week or so. So thanks for jumping on. I guess for those that won't have seen you before, a brief introduction to you. Aaron O'Neill, prolific and prominent member of the disability Welsh cricket team. How long has it been now you've been involved?
Been playing for 2 seasons now.
Sorry, how many seasons?
2 seasons.
2 seasons. Cool. So we'll get into that in a little bit more detail in a bit, but obviously you've been a massive part of that setup for the last 2 years, which is great. And really, yeah, we spoke, didn't we, in the week around a few themes we'll kick off with, but I guess we'll go back to the beginning, really, if that's all right. In terms of, do you want to just talk us through a little bit for those that won't know your story massively well, kind of where you started out, your disability, I guess, to start with. I know we spoke about that, didn't we?
Yeah, that's fine. Basically, when I was born with sacroteratoma on the base of my spinal cord. It's basically like a tumor. I had that removed like 3 days old, and then a couple of years later, I got this called tethered cord syndrome, which where your spinal cord gets tangled with nerve damage, with nerves and scar tissue. And I've had 2 spinal detetherings. The last one was in 2016, and then that left me with chronic pain. What's it called? Neuropathic bladder and nerve damage and tethered cord syndrome.
Wow. Basically. And you say from 3 days old, I think you said, didn't you?
3 days, yeah.
Wow. So how did that, growing up as a kid, how did that impact your kind of day-to-day life, I guess, and forget the cricket for a minute, because obviously you would have discovered that at that point, but do you have a lot of, going back that far, how was that for you growing up?
Well, I was pretty normal up until 8 years old, and then I started developing symptoms that pointed towards 10.
Okay.
Then that happened, and then from there it was the doctors didn't really know what was going on, and it took a while for them to get to diagnose me. And by that point, I had nerve damage, and by the time I had my spinal surgery, it was already 2 months, and that's why I got lots of sensations in my legs and stuff.
Wow. What was that like for you when you kind of going through that whole process once you were diagnosed? Was that a bit of a shock? Did it make sense, in terms of what you were feeling? Was it not nice? It's definitely not the right word I want to use, but to kind of pinpoint what it was exactly, was that kind of good news?
It was for me personally, it was and the doctor spoke to me, but I didn't really understand. Mainly my family thing, they didn't treat me differently. Obviously, I'm a middle child, but one older and one younger. They always treated me as the same as both of them, so I never felt in my house that I was a disabled kid. So I always felt normal, and I think that's the main reason why I've been able to push through everything that I've been through. It's because of supporting my family.
Yeah, definitely. Did your siblings? Were you playing sport with them as a young kid growing up? Were they sporty as well, or not really?
Yeah. The whole family was sporty, and the first time I played cricket was I went to watch my brother play cricket, the older one, and then just ended up joining in and having fun, and then fell in love with cricket since then, probably.
Yeah, nice. What club? Where was that? What club did you start discovering it?
I think first time was Saundersfoot cricket club, and I was watching from there, and then I think I was probably 13 years old, 12 years old when I first started playing. That was
compared to some then.
But it's I played cricket beforehand, but never really a special thing. More of a rugby player. But then from when I actually played my first game, that's when I first like proper really like enjoyed the sport. Do you know what I mean?
Well, yeah. I guess I don't know if you can remember that far back. What was it in that first game or first real experience of cricket that made you think, yeah, quite fancy this?
I think the main thing that I like about cricket is that whoever you are, no matter who you are, like you can be disabled, able-bodied, like no matter what race you are, as soon as you cross like the white line, you're just 11 players playing a sport. That's why I love sport so much. Is like it doesn't matter who you are, you can just play it.
Yeah.
And then you just feel like normal, but like not normal yet. And that's why like I think sports like good, especially for me like personally, like psychologically, like it just like you're just normal. You're just a boy playing cricket, and then that's how I feel when I play cricket. I don't feel like disabled or anything. I just feel like a regular person.
I think even men and women that are playing for England at the highest level now still picture themselves as young boys and girls playing. It's why we all fall in love with the game, isn't it? Which is pretty cool. And you're pretty. I've seen you play. You're pretty competitive. Really. So that bit obviously helps as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I get the competitive from my mum. She's very like what she wants to do everything. Yeah, especially because I'm like got two brothers. Like you want to beat your brothers, and you so
definitely.
I think, and that goes on to the pitch then.
Definitely. So I guess so. You 11, 12 discover cricket down at Saundersfoot. How did you then start to discover, or when rather did you discover kind of the avenue you could go down from a Cricket Wales disability angle? When did that kind of kick off? Obviously fairly recently, if it was 2 years since you.
So my dad saw like a thing on Facebook of someone posting it, and he was like, would you want to play cricket for like type disability Wales? And I was like, yeah, I can do. Like I wasn't like, and I was just like, yeah. We went to the trial after that, and we saw like Les there. We had a meet and greet. We had a training session, and then from there he was like, can you come to Cardiff in 2 weeks' time, and then train with the squad? And I was like, yeah, okay, and then the rest is history, pretty much.
Rest has gone from there. Les must have liked what you saw straight away. That's Les. For those of you that are going to tune into this and watch afterwards, that's Les Randall, who has been involved in the disability stuff for a significant period of time. So wow, okay. And what was your first experience once you went to trials and went to those kind of first sessions? What was your I don't know if you pictured what it was going to be like, but how was that initial experience in that environment for you? Was it better than what you were expecting? Was it nothing like what you were expecting? Kind of, how was that for you?
Well, like the first training session?
Yeah, like the first couple. Obviously, if you've gone to maybe a trial session, it's trials are weird, aren't they? We all players will probably say trials are a little bit weird, but as you go to squad sessions and you start to get familiar with the group and everybody, how was that kind of getting to know everybody?
Well, like the first training session and onwards, it was good because I felt welcome straight away. And that's the main thing about cricket, like disability cricket, is that everyone feels welcome. And then because it's a mix between like learning difficulties and physical disabilities, like it doesn't matter like what you have, like you're just welcome to play, welcome to train. And then it was like a higher standard than like I was expecting. And then I was probably used to, and it took me a while to like be able to progress up to what they were. But then the hard work from the Les and the training sessions he put on, and then working on my own, I managed to make it to squad.
Yeah, that's cool. And as you said, there's definitely, we can probably be quite proud that there is a massively diverse range of our squad makeup, isn't there? That we have some amputees, we have some, as you say, learning difficulties. People like yourself. So in some ways, what's it been like getting to know, I imagine you've got to know everybody in that squad reasonably well over a couple of years. Has it been nice to kind of get to know people on a human level as much as a teammate? Yeah,
like I think because it's such a mixed group that like you like learn to like deal with different people, and that's like you grow as a person instead of just like only like focusing on like able-bodied people. You don't really learn how like different people have to live. Like I don't really see myself like as like the most stable person. Then you play with like Adam Fowler, who's like got one arm, and he's catching the ball and he's throwing it in, and you're like, yeah,
He's incredible, isn't he? Yeah, definitely. It makes you appreciate, I guess, yeah, as you say, everybody's got their own circumstances, and you know, has to deal with those challenges in different ways, really. So fair play to everybody. Talk me through Sri Lanka, because Sri Lanka, for those of you that won't know, it feels ages ago now, doesn't it? Sri Lanka. When was that? That was back start of this year, pretty much, wasn't it?
October 2019.
Sorry, beg pardon. God, it feels more recent than what it was. But that was the first time the disability guys have actually ever toured away. Is my amazing effort from Les and Jenny to get you guys to that point. But what was that like? That must have been unbelievable.
Yeah, it was such like kind of crazy experience. Like the whole Sri Lanka as a country is just absolutely amazing. It's just so beautiful. And then, but especially playing cricket, like it was hard. They were like a really good team. They were better than us, to be honest. And it's not saying we're not good, but they were like on a different level. But it was good to play against someone of that high caliber, because you can test yourself, especially in those conditions where it's so humid and hot, and then you're tired all day because you have a long flight. As soon as you play at the first game, and then you try to test yourself and see where you stand.
Yeah, definitely. What were we talk about conditions? Yeah, I imagine the humidity is definitely one of the shocks that you probably get when you step off the plane. What was like wickets and grounds, and how much of a nightmare was that?
The first ground wasn't like the best ground, and then the wicket was alright. It was like a bit of bouncy, but it died in a few spots. And then we were playing, and it was going okay. And then all of a sudden, rain started hitting. And then 10 seconds later, we got hit with like a typhoon, and then it was just literally got rained off. It was like I've never seen rain like that before out of nowhere, because it was clear skies and it was fine, and all of a sudden it was not fine. And then we had to get back in the bus because it was just the game got called off.
Yeah, I guess it's really, it's annoying because we haven't been able to play anywhere near as much as you guys had wanted to this summer. But I know the team have got a fair bit lined up for kind of until the back end of September. So I guess it'll be interesting now to see how your games were in England and Wales before you went.
Yeah.
The experience of different batting, bowling conditions, and now coming back to Wales and seeing how your games are adapted, if that makes sense. You hopefully see the fruits of that.
Yeah, from me personally, post Sri Lanka, I did a lot of work on my own. I did a lot of one-to-one training sessions at the Spire Gardens, working on my batting and my bowling and my batting technique and everything. And then I'm just looking forward to putting that into practice for the games up ahead, and then seeing how I fare. Because I didn't bat that well in Sri Lanka, to be honest. I bowled all right. I got 2 wickets in the final game, which is good. That's on I got a video as well, so that's but I'm just looking forward to be able to put my batting into practice and bowling, and then because from Sri Lanka tour, it kind of pushed me to want to be a better player, to want to be able to go back again one day and maybe beat them, and then you can see how you progress since then, and then type of person you are then.
Yeah, massively, and I know that I know Les has had some discussions around them potentially returning the favour and coming into our conditions, which could be an eye-opener for them. So, as you say, it's great to challenge yourself at a slightly higher standard and see where you come out. That's really cool.
Yeah.
I guess generally in terms of the disability stuff and Wales specifically, I know we have a few in the squad who have been really vocal in the best way possible around kind of what it means to them to play for their country. Is that something now, having done it for the last couple of years, did you expect to do that at any stage? How does it feel for you to put on the shirt and that type of stuff? Just what kind of emotions and stuff do you go through?
It means everything, to be honest. To play for your country is such a great honour, and then not everyone to be able to say you've done it, especially if you've been on tour, then played for your country in a different country and represent you, and for Wales. That's something you can't buy. That's just experience, and then not everyone will experience it, and it just puts into how appreciate the graft you put in, the hard work you put in, just to put on that shirt every time you play. and then try your best is just an amazing honour, and you can't describe it, to be honest.
Yeah,
It's definitely
it's definitely one that will. Well, you've got your Welsh cap, haven't you? So it's definitely one that will sit on the fireplace or the mantelpiece or wherever's the cool place to put it in the house to always kind of represent all the hard work, as you say, that you've put in, which is really cool. I was going to say you can always, that's always going to be with you. So we were going to chat around your future plans, and it'll always be there for when you need it. I guess the fact you've represented Wales, but it sounds like you've got some pretty exciting stuff in the pipeline for the next couple of years. University beckons in September, is that right?
Yeah. Hope going to Liverpool John Moores University, studying business management, and hopefully from there. I don't really know what to do after that, but then my cricket plans are to maybe one day make the England team, and then from there, I heard rumours that it's going to be T20 in the Olympics, and then hopefully if it's in the Olympics, maybe the Paralympics, and that's my main goal. If that happens, make the Paralympic games.
I think there was definitely talk at one stage of T20 in Com Games. I know that was pre-COVID, so I'm not sure where those conversations are.
Exactly.
But that sounds a really cool aspiration to have. That would be unbelievable, wouldn't it? What's the cricket? Do you plan to play cricket at university? I can't say I know the university cricket scene a little bit. I don't know too much about Liverpool, but
they do have a cricket team, and I'm hoping to maybe push into that for the maybe the winter training there, keep my cricket up, and then next year stay cricket Wales in the summer, come back, play with them, and hopefully that should be for the next 3 years. I want to keep getting better, keep playing cricket Wales, and then just move into the D40 league next year, hopefully. And then
we were going to be in that good standard league, weren't we? This summer,
exactly.
We were going to be in and around the England disability, some of the England disability players, weren't we? Which would be cool. Right, what are you looking forward to most about the uni? Is that first time kind of fending for yourself a little bit, or have you done that? What's the bit that's kind of drawing you towards really looking forward to September?
I would say just the independence and then be able to do stuff yourself. I'm a pretty independent person myself. I've always taken care of myself. Obviously, I support my family, but they brought me up to not need to lean on anyone else, and to hopefully go to uni, put that into practice, and just become a man basically.
Yeah, cool. Oh, that sounds awesome. Sounds absolutely fab. I guess lastly, and this is a really important one because we always try and whoever we chat to on these Q&As, we always try and get some real top tips, golden nugget bits that you and people can pass down. Look, there will be there's your generation of disability cricketers. There'll be
the next generation.
way more. Next generation. There'll be aspiring youngsters now. What would you say are kind of some of your top bits of advice or tips for any youngster? It doesn't have to be a youngster even. It could be somebody that is 25, 30 that wants to get involved in cricket at a later point. What would your advice be to any of them that are maybe looking to follow a similar journey that you've done?
I would say if you're disabled and you want to play cricket, I would say don't worry if you're any good. Don't worry if you're the worst player or the best player. Just come in, get involved, have fun. That's all it is. It's just about having fun with your friends. And because cricket, especially disability cricket, it just you don't feel disabled when you're playing. So that's a good chance to be able to feel normal, because everyone on the team has disabilities and everyone has problems in their life. But as soon as you cross that white line, you're just a regular person basically. And then it's just a way to make friends and then feel like yourself basically.
Yeah, I think that's the same for any cricket, isn't it? Regardless, as you say, it doesn't have to be disability cricket. Everybody in any walk of life will have stuff going on, that not everybody sees. And it's we all like to perform, don't we? And we all like to be competitive. But everybody turns up on a Saturday or a Sunday or whenever it is for the love of the game, don't they? Really, really good bit of advice that. And I guess from a coaching angle, who are some of the better coaches, or I know you've obviously worked with Les the last 2 years, but generally all the way throughout your upbringing, who would you say has been big influences in your journey from a coaching angle, and why really?
I'd say my two most influential coaches would be Les and my dad. My dad basically, because he puts in like a lot of work off the behind the scenes, helping my back end, taking me to like the one-to-one trainings, like buying me like different equipment, and then also going through it with me and then helping me keep at it. And then I would say like Les, he's the man that's brought me to where I am today. Like, he's the one that gave me the chance. He's the one that like, put me in the spotlight. And for that, like you can't. I'm eternally grateful, because you can't return that favor. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then that's just, I don't know. It's just those two especially. There's been like more, but those two are the most stand out. I would
Stand
say.
out for you, yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. And I guess lastly, because I guess disability cricket, rightly or wrongly, a lot of coaches don't necessarily know that there's opportunities to get involved all the time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got to do a better job of creating better awareness around the opportunities within disability cricket, full stop, really. I remember I did a piece, I worked once with a visually impaired player, and it was the most amazing session. Like just it was such a learner for me as a coach. So what would you say to other coaches that are maybe looking to explore opportunities, maybe don't know or are thinking of getting involved with disability cricket? How would you kind of sell it to them, and what would you say to them if they're looking to get involved?
I would say mainly for disability cricket, it would be like, make sure, yes, the team is winning and then playing good and training well, but also the inclusion factor. Like, a lot of players don't have anything else apart from the cricket. So then as long as they're included and they're feeling safe and they're feeling happy, and then even if your team loses all the time, as long as your players are happy and feeling safe, then that's a win in my books.
Yeah, definitely. As you say, it's often the best bit of the day, or it's.
Yeah.
I know we have plenty of guys in our setup that it is the thing that they
look forward to in the week.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, a really good bit of advice. Awesome. I think I'll do it, Saz. That's quality. That's really good. That'll be a really good insight for anybody, players, coaches, and the general network in Welsh cricket. Really, just to learn a little bit and hear a bit from you. That's really good. And for those of you that do want to check out any of the fixtures that the guys are playing, then they are on the website, and they've got a busy next month and a half as we try to max out the rest of the summer as best we can. But thanks for joining us. We wish you very best in September when you're off to Liverpool, and we'll keep in touch. All right.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice one. Take care. We'll stay on for this for 2 secs. Cheers.
All right.